Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Books and Coffee. This is season 3, episode 1, the very first episode of our new season. How have you been? How has May been for you? Because May is coming to an end and June would soon start. Simple, little, cute advice: make the best out of this month. Make sure you achieve what you want to achieve in June. And if you do not achieve what you want to achieve in June, it's totally fine. Disclaimer: trigger warnings of mental health disorder, suicide, depression, and basically mental health issues. As the title indicates, I'm going to be reviewing a book. I would be reviewing the book Storms and Calms by Rasheedah Balogun. It is a collection of poems, and I just love this book because after I read it, it changed me greatly. And I was like, I'm definitely going to review this book. There's no way I am not reviewing this book because it was that good, of the book and then about the author. And I would get right into the review. So stay tuned. If you've not grabbed your mug of coffee, make sure you go brew yourself some coffee, or if it's instant coffee you're using, just quickly pour in the mix into your cup and then make it and find a really comfortable position. Firstly, I'm going to tell you what the book is about before I read out about the author and the synopsis of the book. So basically, the book Storms and Calms has 2 parts, and it is as I said earlier, it's a collection of poems. It's a poetry collection. It has 2 sections. One that talks about the storms, and then the other part that talks about the calms. Basically, inama al-usri yusra, indeed with hardship comes ease. That's how I relate them. The first part talks about the storm, which is like struggle, trials, and all those things. Then calm, where relief and peace eventually falls in. The first part has to do with the storms, and it's titled "The Storm Before the Calm." And then the other section is titled the calm after the storm. And I love how these sections are titled, and the main themes of the book basically surrounds mental health, healing, self-love, self-acceptance, coping, therapy, all those things. Those are basically the themes of the book. So now I'm going to read out the synopsis of the book and also the about the author. So here's what the about the book says. Storms and Calms is a collection of poetry about mental health, trauma, grief, healing, hope, therapy, and self-acceptance. By exploring her mental health struggles and how she navigates healing, the author takes the readers on a journey from storms to calms through 2 sections of evocative poems and prose. And I really like this book because, like, as I told the author, it was like therapy. Well, I wouldn't say it was like therapy. It was therapy for me. I love how it's not just poems that were infused in it, but then poems about mental health. Anything that has to do with mental health, I love getting involved. And this was a nice book, and it came at the appropriate time. It was like God sent. So now about the author says this. Rasheedah Balogun, also known as RB, is a Nigerian poet, filmmaker, and creative director. She holds 3 degrees in mass communication and psychology. She is passionate about weaving stories around mental health, societal issues, culture, and art. She believes that creative expression and storytelling are powerful advocacy tools. Her experience as a mental health education advocate and a person with lived experience inspired her debut poetry collection, Storms and Calms. And I like the fact that Rasheedah titled her book Storms and Calms, because basically, like I said earlier, in the Malisri sort of very real hardship comes is, and I just love how everything was related back to the ocean. And that brings me to her cover, the cover of the book. The cover of the book, like me, but one thing about me, I think I mentioned this a couple of times, is I judge books by their covers, because if a book is not appealing or it's not beautiful, why should I read it? Tell me, just give me one single reason why I should read it. So yeah, I judge books by their covers. And this book was a very attractive book. And on the cover of the book, we have like the diagram, should I say, the image of the ocean and waves crashing. And then we have like things like, I suppose, are lightning in the sky. And it just depicts what the entire book is about. And I love the fact that she did that. As I said earlier, the first section of the book talks about the struggles, challenges, and hardship that we face as humans. I like the fact that she did this because I'm pretty sure this would help a lot of people relate, because there was one poem in the book that talks about you not being the only one with maybe this mental health kind of thing, that it's also other people's reality. And I feel it would give people that kind of comfort, I guess, and that kind of relief, because a lot of people beat themselves up and are like, okay, maybe I'm just not normal or something like that. But no, you're absolutely normal. You're absolutely normal. Another thing is, it's okay and it's normal to go through hardship and go through pain and go through challenges and trials. And I like that this book bluntly depicted that, because I cried. I cried. When I said this book resonated with me, I'm not even like joking. I was not joking when I said this book really related with me for some reason. Like I relate. How would I put the English? I could relate to the poems of this book. So I'll be reading out some poems from these two sections. Before I move on, I wanted to say something very amazing. And I think that's so cool. The dedication of the book, right? It says this, and I feel it's so cute. Don't mind me. I feel it's so cute. So basically, this is what the dedication says. It says, "For Abike, my 8-year-old self, who dreamt of becoming an author." Like, it is just, it's amazing. It's just such a cute dedication. And also, obviously, to my parents and everyone who contributed to the actualization of this collection. Thank you. I just love that first part. It's so cute. This is one of my favorite poems from the book. It's titled Insomnia. It goes like this. A friend who keeps you company while you watch a replay of a 6-year-old scene from a movie titled Your Life all night long, and leaves you drained by morning, looking as tired as ever. Yeah, that's insomnia. I don't know, I just like it. Don't ask me why. I just like it. There are a whole bunch of poems in these two sections. Lovely, beautifully written poems. I love this one also. I love it. I don't know how to put it, but it's quite deep. It says, on the days you feel like you're navigating a storm with no shelter in sight, when someone asks you, "How are you doing?" you will reply with, "I'm fine." You will want to tell them that you are exhausted to the bone and it feels like you have been carrying the weight of the entire world. You will want to tell them how you are swimming in a sea of confusion. You will want to tell them how you are juggling too many plates and they are all crashing down. You will want to tell them that you are crumbling like a sandcastle hit by waves. You will want to tell them that you are like a phone with a low battery, desperately needing a recharge. You will want to tell them that you long for their warmth like a plant craves for sunlight. But all you will be able to say is, "I'm fine," on the days you do not want to be called an attention seeker. I'm just going to read out 5 poems from each section. I think that's fair enough. I found the third poem and I like this one. It says, "If you read or hear my words, don't you ever pity me, for I do not need your pity. If you ever feel like giving me something, give me your kindness and empathy, for that is the best thing you can give me." And in this our world, I feel like a lot of people don't take mental health that seriously. They're just like, meh, it's just mental health. It's nothing serious now. While in actual fact, it is more than serious. And I feel a lot of people just shun it. And they do not realize that people that struggle with mental health disorders do not need pity. They basically need kindness, empathy, love. So like, be kind to people. Be kind to people in general. You never know who is going through whatever in their life at that moment. So just be kind. And another thing I want to say is, Yes, we all face hardship, challenges, trials. We all go through those moments of tough times. But one thing I really want to point out and emphasize on is you run your own race. Okay, I don't want to use race in this aspect because we are talking all about ocean, water body, and all. So I would rather say you ride your own boat. Do not ride anybody's boat. Everyone feels pain and everyone goes through hardship, but everybody's degree of hardship is different from the other person's degree of hardship. Your own level of hardship is definitely different from someone else's level of hardship. And never, ever, 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 ever compare your hardship to someone else's hardship because their hardship is unique to them and yours is unique to you. And do not also compare your time of healing with other people. That is one of the worst things you could ever do in your life. Compare your duration of healing. Yes, some people could heal from what they've been through within a year, and it might take you 10 years. It doesn't make you a bad person or anything. Don't ever compare your own journey on the sea with another person's journey because you're both riding different boats. You're both sailing in different ways, even though it might seem like you're all sailing in one path or on one path in the same direction. Where you're headed are totally different and your destinations are not the same destinations, and the period it takes you to get to that destination are most definitely not the same. We have done 3 poems, now 2 more to go. Okay, I found this one. It has to do with anxiety. So this is what the poem says. It says, most times anxiety comes like a friend, a very nice friend, a friend that lingers around out of concern, but ends up casting shadows on even the moments meant for sunshine. So when you tell me go to therapy, it's like saying I should lose a friend, a very nice friend, a friend who cares. And before we continue, because I think it's just one more poem to go for this section, I love how she depicted the images in this book. I remember telling her that it was given Rupi Kaur's book. And I really love those doodles. I think I'll call them doodles. I don't know what they are called, but then I really love those little doodle things. And this would be the last poem of this section. It says this: the scary part about knowing a suicidal person is that you never know what stage they are in, and so you don't know ways in which you can help them. I feel this particular section would have, like, your heart would be heavy. Like, oh my god, the hardship and everything, the cries, the tears and everything. If you're reading this, I just allow the tears flow. The emotional impact of this section is quite intense. So yeah, good luck while reading it. We go to the next section, and this is where we get to see the calm section. As I said, the calm after the storm, and it's basically the introduction to relief and healing, and all those are depicted in this section of the book. And this is where we get the ease part. Like I said, inna ma'al usri yusra, verily with hardship comes ease. The hardship has already passed, the storm has passed, and now the calm is setting in. The main themes of this section were calm, healing, home, therapy, empathy, self-acceptance, hope, support, self-love, and coping. All these were themes that were covered in this section of the book. While reading this part, it just makes that feeling of heaviness that was within you ease off a bit. It makes it a bit lighter. It feels like the weight that you've been carrying has been reduced. Let me read out a couple of poems. Okay, I found our first poem from this section, which I really love. It says, in there lies a woman who decided to fight for her sanity and embrace all obstacles that was thrown her way. With high hopes, she is courageously riding her way through her battles without regrets. She stands tall, knowing that this is going to be a tough journey. She raises her head up high with pride, for her scars are now being covered with flowers. Beautiful, absolutely stunning, effortlessly written. Okay, this next one is more like a prayer. It says, Lord of the heavens and the earth, grant me the ability to walk people through their healing journey. Give me the grace to walk through my healing journey, and all that depresses me should be a thing of the past. The third poem says, I hope that on the days you feel you are not enough and you feel irrelevant, you will look at yourself in the mirror and say, I have not come this far to feel any less of a human. I am enough. I am relevant and I am me. If you're looking at a mirror, say that now. You're enough and you're relevant and you're also you. And now this last poem brings us to the end of this section of the book. The poem is titled Questions. What if you didn't have to pretend? What if you didn't have to push it away? What if you didn't have to act strong? What if you didn't have to hide your emotions? What if you didn't have to lock away your feelings? What if you needed to acknowledge it? What if you needed to face it? What if you needed to embrace it? What if you needed to let out your emotions? What if you needed to express your feelings? Yeah, think about that, I guess. I'm just going to add one little poem. It says, I want to say sorry to my past self for all the times that I hated her, said mean things to her, looked down on her and gave up on her. I want to say thank you to my present self for never giving up on herself, for encouraging herself, for looking for the light at the end of the tunnel and holding up the light for others. That was pretty magical. And I love how the book also portrayed, self-love. Because it's not talking about you loving other people mostly. It's basically about you, your mental health. Your mental health. Love yourself and be compassionate to yourself. I feel a lot of people need to get educated on mental health, honestly. And I like how the book is a form of mental health awareness. It's another form of mental health awareness. This book's contribution in raising awareness of mental health is, I'm sure it's going to help and transform a lot of lives, because there are definitely people that would relate to this book or with this book and would get a thing or two from it. There are going to be people that would start their healing journey because of this book. There are going to be people that would keep on going on their healing journey because of this book. There are going to be people that would feel comforted with this book. There are going to be people that would feel like it's not actually only me that's going through this. There are other people who are in the same situation as I am, and I am not alone, because you're not alone. Pray to Allah. And if you need to see a therapist, make sure to contact one. This book review episode, it's not like the normal book review episode, because this deals with mental health and it's an amazing topic, honestly. So my final thoughts basically are, I love how the book was written, how everything was put together. And I will encourage listeners to, explore the themes like healing, self-love. You all should impute it in your daily lives. It would really help. And yeah, I've learned a lot from this book. Honestly, the book has made me grow. I love poems. I love mental health topics, and everything just blended in well. The words were not ambiguous. They were not big. They were simple, easy to digest, quick to process. It was just amazing. And all in all, I would rate the book a 5-star. Special honors to the cover. The cover was the star of the show, with the man of the match. I don't know how they say that thing. That's it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And if you are going through any mental health issues, or you're currently on your healing journey, or you're thinking of going on your healing journey, or you've already started, or you're in the process, I pray Allah makes it easy for you and all of us. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone in this. And yeah, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. And as always, I would see you in my next episode, inshallah. I remain your host, Fadila. Assalamu alaikum.